All right, thanks everybody for joining. I think we'll give it a kickoff now, and other folks will join as we go. A couple of quick housekeeping notes. We've got Q&A at the end, but as you have questions, please put them in the Q&A chat on the right-hand side of the screen. You should have the opportunity to just drop your questions in there. We'll either get to them as we go, or we will answer them at the end of the presentation. As I mentioned earlier, but for those who are just coming on, I'm Glenn Gerard. I'm the head of enterprise sales here in Ottawa. And today we're very lucky to have Fouad Mazar, who comes to us from Dell and is probably, at least in my experience in my time with CDW, absolutely the best guy to be talking to around Dell networking and specifically around SD-WAN. And actually, poor Fouad has the unpleasant task of having to forward the slides for me today, so I'm gonna thanks. And I think a lot of you know who we are, but I just want to mention that on today's call, you've got a mix of the folks from Dell and folks from CDW, and those that remember Scalar Decisions. You'll remember that CDW purchased Scalar Decisions about a year ago, and we pulled those two, integrated those two companies together, which has been very exciting for both of us. Maybe Fouad, you go to the next slide. Just a very quick, Robert makes me include this slide every single time, but just a quick snapshot of CDW's progress since being founded in 1984. Probably the critical one there is in 2019 when they acquired Scalar. They also acquired Aptris, one of ServiceNow's elite partners. And what's not on here is earlier this year we acquired it's escaping me now. A down in the U.S. another very similar to Scalar cloud services company in the U.S. And Robert will quickly go into chat and remind me of their name. So can we get to the next slide, Fouad? Thanks. So again, just talking to the depth of our experience, and I think this is all great stuff. 35 years of experience, $18 billion in sales. But for me, probably the critical and most important thing I can say about CDW is the depth of our partnerships and how near and dear to our hearts we hold our partners. We have a saying where I'm from back in Belgium, which is everyone is equal, but some are more equal than others. Dell is most definitely more equal than others, and we are one of their titanium, one of 3 titanium partners in Canada, and we probably do more business with Dell than anybody else. But I'll ask that you don't tell Cisco and HPE that I have a favorite, a very clear favorite. And thank you, Robert. It was IGNW was the partner we bought earlier this year, based out of Portland. The NW was for Northwest. I knew I was forgetting something, so thank you. Thanks for that. Again, with that, I thank everybody for coming. As you have questions, please pop them in the question chat. Don't worry, I won't be answering any technical questions. Those will be handled by Fouad and by Randy Evans. Fouad obviously from Dell, and Randy from our side. And just a quick snapshot of our coverage across Canada. We have 9 offices, none of which we are in right now, obviously enough, not unlike most of you, I would expect. Over 900 employees. Our Canadian headquarters is in the West Mall, and we have offices. We used to say that we have offices everywhere that there is an NHL hockey team. However, just recently we added an office in Halifax in Atlanta to cover Atlantic Canada. So if there's anybody on from the East Coast, Matt Cowan is your man out there. And with that, I will finally shut up and hand over to you, Fouad.
That's cool. And thank you everybody for joining us today. Again, my name is Fouad Mazhar. I'm a networking engineer with Dell. My background has been always in the networking, in the LAN and WAN networking. And today we're going to be presenting to you the Dell VeloCloud SD-WAN Solutions, software-defined wide area network. I hope that you all know about WAN. What's a WAN solution? Basically, a WAN is a way to connect any branch office to the data center of any enterprise or any company. And SD-WAN takes it a step further. So instead of managing one VPN tunnel by tunnel, instead of managing one box, one VPN appliance or concentrator one at a time, we have a holistic view of the whole network, and we simplify and optimize the solution to make it easy to deploy, easy to manage, easy to monitor, as well as troubleshoot. I always like to start the presentation by just going through what we're going to be presenting today. A quick intro, which I think thanks again, Glenn, for the intro. And what is SD-WAN? So SD-WAN is actually it came from software being or the application being the most important piece of data that everybody is trying to reach. And application enablement is not easy when lots of companies are migrating to the cloud, in terms of security, in terms of performance, availability and reliability of the equipment, the circuits, the internet, and the fact that lots of people are moving to the cloud on the SaaS side. So Office 365, for example, SFDC, everything is on the cloud, and the internet is not as reliable as, for example, a private circuit such as an MPLS. But with a software-defined solution, we make the internet reliable. We can kind of provide an SLA if we're using internet type of solution. And why SD-WAN? We're going to talk about that in details, and also the key differentiator between the VeloCloud solution and other solution as well. And we're going to, in the middle of the session, we're going to have a live demo of how it looks like, the configuration interface, the appliances, the feature set, and we're going to show you how the secret sauce of VeloCloud works in providing a guaranteed type of performance and monitoring to the applications. I like always to start with the screen where I show you the map of the global map, where an enterprise can deploy lots of sites, lots of appliances everywhere around the world, not only in North America or in Canada, but also in Europe, Asia, Latin America, and everything will be seen as one. And from the very first view of the main configurator of the network, you can see statistics for different sites. You see the status of different locations. And on the right-hand side, you can see the LEMC appliance itself, which is the size of an Xbox 60 if you want. So it's a very small appliance, but it is actually full of power. This is a mini server from Dell. And as you guys know, Dell is a big hardware manufacturer, very well known for the quality of the hardware that we provide to our customers. And VMware, which is our partner owner of VeloCloud, is a very strong software development type of firm. And putting both together is a successful recipe. So it's actually a best solution in terms of the hardware and the software when they come together. Now, with this recipe or with this type of solution, how have we been ranked or being received by the market? And right there, you can see the magic quadrant from the Gartner Group. These are the experts of the market, where they have some very restrictive criteria in evaluating different manufacturers and different solutions when it comes to the SD-WAN technology. And as you can see, right on the top right corner, it's VMware. We've been leading the pack for the last 2 years in a row. Some people were some other manufacturer were in the leaders quadrant the year before, but they have been moved out. And the reason for that, Gartner, as the technology is evolving, that criteria become more restrictive. And the way that they see the VMware solution being a more complete solution with an excellent vision around the cloud, knowing that about 75 to 85% of the enterprise are looking into migrating their data to the cloud. Hence the name VeloCloud from Dell VMware. We're really focused on the cloud. How can we access the cloud in a secure manner from the branch office, not only from the data center, while providing enough statistics and enough control over this type of traffic going to the SaaS, or the software as a service, that type of solutions. Now, to talk also about some of the not only recognized by Gartner as the leader, but also by our customers. So we have lots of customers, about 15,000 organizations, about 250,000 active sites. Out of the 14,100, we have 89 customers out there. A service provider, they use our solution as a managed service solution as well. We had lots of awards, and as you know, Dell is present in about 70 countries and more, and we provide support 24/7 around the clock. So it's really an excellent solution and an excellent success story to tell. And right there, the market actually will be evolving a lot around SD-WAN. And this slide was done in 2019, and just before COVID. And my personal expectation that even though the slide saying it's $35 billion around 2025, this is how much the market of the SD-WAN will reach. I think it's going to be much earlier than that with the actual situation that we're living in. The work from home situation, the no access to the office, the amount of applications that have been running on the internet, the voice and video, the edge becomes more important than ever before. And this is some statistics about the fact that the number of enterprise that are moving to the cloud. So I don't want to spend too much time on marketing type of material, but I would like to show you the actual technology, talk about it, and give you the demo. So the Velo Cloud solution, what it is exactly? It's a software running on an appliance hardware, but what it does tackle is the way that we connect a branch office or a work from home office to the data center and to the cloud. Guys, most of you will be familiar with MPLS. MPLS is a service that provided by service providers as a kind of a secure type of network with some SLA attached to it. So there is a class of service. Most of the customers or most of the enterprise will adopt this MPLS solution as the main circuit to connect the branch office to the data center. Now, but what if the circuit goes down? So they always have a backup internet circuit. And with the backup internet circuit comes some technology that has to be deployed for that circuit. For example, a router to terminate the circuit. So we have to terminate the circuit on some kind of a routing device. Also a firewall. Remember, this is internet, and security becomes an issue. So we need a firewall as well. Now, if the circuit comes up, I need to guarantee that the applications will perform as if the main circuit is still up and running. So we're looking at a WAN optimization device, could be from any other manufacturer there. So right there, we just counted 3 different devices with 3 different OSs, and just to connect, in case of the MPLS goes down, the backup VPN kicks in and connect back to the data center. But the only problem with this solution that the SaaS was never taken into account. And if it does, providing internet access from the branch office to the SaaS is not that the performance is not monitored, security is not deployed. So network admin people, when they look at that solution, it's a nightmare for them. They don't know how to secure it properly, especially to the SaaS. And this is where Velo Cloud comes in. And this is where the whole solution was built with the mindset that most of the enterprise in the coming years will move their data into the edge and will be using the SaaS as the main application repo for their solution. But here are the challenges that comes with such a solution. The inconsistent application performance. Yes, absolutely. When you connect over the internet to Office 365 or SFDC, or if you're running a Zoom or WebEx or Skype, you cannot guarantee the performance. So, and also, you can run this traffic for security reason, you can run it to the data center. So the traffic goes from the branch office to the data center, and from the data center, you'll have a secure session to the SaaS. But that means that all your public traffic going to your data center. What if you have locations in Europe or in Asia? This traffic has to come to the data center first, and then from there go out on the internet. So there is no real consistency when it comes to performance. And it becomes very complex. The active and the standby. When does the standby kick in? What if there is the active goes down and the main circuit goes down, comes back? It does the yo-yo effect. The multiple routing protocol that you have to configure, BGP, OSPF, you name it there. So it becomes really complex for a network admin to maintain a full WAN architecture. Again, the number of equipment that you have to maintain and the different operating systems, the skill set, the support contract, so many different devices, from firewalls to router to WAN optimizations, and the lack of automation. Basically, there is no way to automate any of this. It has to be done box by box. You have to log on. Even if you want to change a password for a router or add a line of configuration in the firewall, you're going to have to log into one site at a time and add this access list, edit it, and add this line, and then it may, in some cases, may take a reboot. So there is no automation for this type of solution. As well as the cost of this, the support for those type of solutions. So you need support contracts for routers, for firewalls, for WAN optimization device. This is the current WAN challenge. But how about with COVID? With the work from home solution, even with the COVID-19, the challenge became even more apparent. So we're living in a unique type of scenario where the home became a branch. Why? Because we have parents and children are actually working on the internet at the same time. All their devices are turned on 24/7, laptops, iPhones, iPads, smart TVs, everything is competing for the bandwidth of the internet. Teachers providing virtual classes. The teacher from home, he has a limited amount of bandwidth, or he has a big bandwidth, but he's teaching a class for 50 people, and priority of his traffic is important. So it doesn't actually, the voice doesn't break up, the video does not pixelate. The same when it comes to doctors, performing remote diagnostics, downloading large files for, let's say, imaging files or X-rays, and it has to be very high definition type of files. So you need a very well, a good circuit that's performing well, and provide priority for the doctor working from home against his children that could be maybe playing on video game or doing some Netflix downloads or music downloads. And in some cases, people will think that I'm going to upgrade my bandwidth. So from 50 meg, I'm going to go to 100 meg. Netflix and video games will still consume this whole bandwidth. You need a mechanism to be able to prioritize the traffic for the important traffic or the critical traffic for your business. On top of that, the security. Now I have my spouse, my kids, myself running on the same home network, every one of us connecting to different data centers. And there is a security issue there. On top of that, all our devices are turned on 24/7 now. So it becomes also it could be exposed to potential breach. So these are the challenges that we have today. And how can we have a solution that will answer all those challenges and be able to support us working from home or from the branch office? And this is when a network admin, when he comes to actually look at how can I modify my network? How can I design a new WAN network that's smart enough to give me bandwidth that not necessarily only one technology, but multiple technologies. For example, we can have MPLS circuit with the internet backup, but instead of being a backup and dormant all the time, how can I make it active? How can I join those two circuits together, even though there are different technology, MPLS and broadband, and maybe different bandwidth as well, different speeds? How can I join them together, providing an active solution, load sharing solution, so I make the best out of my money? Also, dynamic load sharing, aggregate capacity for higher utilization. I'll be able to prioritize my application, and if there is a problem with one circuit, let's say there is some packet loss, there is some jitter, I'll be able to steer the traffic from one circuit to the other, but maybe not the full traffic, maybe one application only. How can I become granular and maybe moving the voice traffic only to another circuit that's more stable, but keeping the web traffic on one on the circuit that's maybe having some delays, because it doesn't affect web as much as it does affect voice. Another thing is the link performance. So as I mentioned, we're providing appliances like mini servers that are full of memory, full of CPU, very capable device, and I have lots of buffering there. So even if I have one link, one connection, not two, like working from home type of scenarios, I can buffer enough data so I can fix the jitter when it happens. I can do forward error correction because of the enough memory that I have with my solution. And also the detection and the remediation on demand. So the way that we monitor the circuits, every 100 milliseconds. So 10 times a second, I monitor if the circuit is not performing, is behaving badly, and I can steer the traffic from one circuit to another. And key to say here that we steer based on packets, not based on session. So if there is a voice traffic, voice session happening between two sites, there will be never a disconnection on that session because we move the packets and not the session. We never disconnect the session. Application awareness and business policy routing. This is key for our solution. We know that applications are very well known. There are time-sensitive applications, there are transactional applications, and bulk applications. Time-sensitive, such as the solution that we're talking about now over WebEx. So there is data, there is voice, there is video, all shared at the same time. How can we be aware, like how can we build a priority and QoS and class of services based on that? So the solution must be smart enough to be able to read inside the packet quickly and decide what kind of QoS you apply to those type of traffics and sessions. Business policy routings will have to do with the type of applications, again, application enablement and application allowing separate application to run on different lines. I'll give you an example. A PCI or some secure application that's running on my MPLS circuit. And if the MPLS circuit goes down, it will revert to the broadband. But for this personal credit card information, I don't want it to go on the internet. So I can selectively choose the application that will never go over the internet, even if the link is down. So it will stay down until the main link or the private link comes back up. So I'm very granular, very selective in the terms of application. And when it comes to deployment and configuration, we have a cloud managed solution. So you can access the configurator from anywhere. You build your configuration and you push it to the appliance. And you push it to the appliance in a zero-touch provisioning type of scenario. So you ship the appliance to the branch office or to the user at home, plugs it to the internet. The unit will call home, call the server, download its config, and it's up and running without the network admin being involved anymore. So the minute that he configures the whole profile on the cloud GUI, it's done. Also, lots of statistics, lots of monitoring, even live monitoring you can do, capture data you can do. And this is basically what VeloCloud can provide as an answer. So when a network admin look at all those 8 items there and say, these are my priority, I want to use multiple links, different speeds, I want to have zero-touch provisioning, I want to be able to load share on my circuits. If it's only one circuit and it has some packet loss, I'll be able to recover from that. I need some QoS already pre-configured in the system for time-sensitive application. I need some flexibility with the business policy that for my applications. The VeloCloud will answer to all those questions. This is a slide that we normally you have 2 internet connection in the branch office, one main circuit which is active and the other one is standby. I'm showing here the way that we do it. It could be an MPLS and internet, or it could be internet and internet, but we do active type of solution. So I bring both circuits active, even if it's different speed, a different technology. And as you can see, both circuits are not behaving correctly. So they are losing packets, they have some jitter issues, there are some latency, but the resultant on top, which is the green line on top, is all green. So the score is 10 over 10. And this is using our secret sauce that we call the DMPO, Dynamic Multipass Optimization. And we take the resultants of the 2 circuits and we'll be able to steer packets back and forth every 10 milliseconds, every 100 milliseconds, 10 times a second to continue providing an excellent experience to the user. So they don't even feel any glitch on any of those circuits. We do that with our continuous link monitoring, dynamic per packet steering, and on-demand remediation. All those features are already built into the solution. And I have an animated slide here to show you how it works. So I have a branch on the left, a branch office connecting to the headquarters on the right. And I have the 2 circuits that we've been talking about, MPLS and broadband, main circuit and backup circuit. But in my scenario, in my solution, I will turn this backup circuit up so it becomes active. So I have an active solution doing load sharing. And when there are no problems on the network, everything is green, traffic flows properly. And the minute that we start having packet loss, it's starting to happen, the solution will duplicate the traffic. So not only sending on MPLS, but also on broadband. Why? Because MPLS is now not behaving properly. There is latency, it's losing packet. So I'm going to make sure that the packet is duplicated on both circuits to guarantee the delivery of this application. And if it does not meet the SLA anymore, if it goes beyond 2% packet loss, I will just claim the MPLS down for that one specific application and then move this application or the traffic of that application to the broadband link. And here is the animation. That's everything is good. Now I have some experiences of packet loss. Now I duplicate the traffic on both circuits. And once we reach 2% packet loss, now the application will completely move to the other circuit to make sure that it's been delivered properly. Now, how about working from home or sites where there's only one link? It's the same. Remember, I had mentioned this appliance is actually a mini server. It has lots of CPUs, it has lots of memory. And depending on, and we propose or we provision the appliance based on the bandwidth that you have on the circuit. So we have different models, but mainly we have enough buffering for the traffic. So in good conditions, everything will work properly. Once you start having packet loss, we duplicate the traffic on the same link. And I want to think of it as if you're shooting a target with a rifle. You shoot the first shot and then you second one, normally one after the other. Because if you miss the first shot, you end up hit with the second one. And that's the concept we do here. So if everything is good, we're just sending packets. The minute that it turns yellow, I'm going to start sending duplicate packets. So now we get kind of guaranteed that we'll do our best to deliver the application to the destination. In this example, you have two SD-WAN solutions. One without VeloCloud, so it doesn't have this DMPO feature, and one with the DMPO feature. If you look at the title of this session, of this slide, it's a video conference over in one link with only 2% packet loss. Some people will think 2% packet loss is acceptable. Not for video and voice. The voice will be breaking off and the video will be pixelated, as you can see on the left-hand side. And part of my demo, I'm going to show you an example of that with only 2% packet loss. So here are some of the requirements that the network admin was looking for, and this is what we can do. Ability to use all links, absolutely. Continuous monitoring for packet steering, yes. Link selection per application. When a circuit is behaving badly, I can select which application to move to another circuit. Not all the traffic, just selected applications. On-demand remediation, absolutely, with forward error correction and jitter buffering, we can do that. Dynamic per packet steering every 100 milliseconds. And of course, the lifecycle management, when it comes to manage the whole environment, enough monitoring, we can do live monitoring, and I'm going to show you that, and extensive reporting as well. So if you don't mind, I'm going to jump into the demo. So I'm going to just go to my screen. So first, I want to show you the topology that I have. We have a WAN network, a wide area network. Well, I have two locations. I have two sites. One is called the Dallas site, and the other one is called the legacy site. The legacy has a router that has an MPLS connection to the MPLS network where it connects to the data center on the right-hand side. The data center router for MPLS, and behind the data center, on the LAN of the data center, there's a video server. Okay. Then I have a Dallas location. For the Dallas location, we deployed already a smart appliance with SD-WAN VeloCloud running on it. And this location has two circuits, one MPLS, which is the main circuit, but it does have a backup internet circuit. Both of them are active. They connect, and then in every LAN, there is a client. So one Dallas client and one legacy client. Both clients will request a video to play a video from the video server. It's a streaming video. So we're going to see the video in sync for both of them. Now, this Dallas smart device connects to the internet for its configuration at the VCO. What is a VCO? It's a VeloCloud Orchestrator. This is where I prepare my configuration. I do my policies, routing policies, firewall policies. I create the VLANs, the IP addresses, and then I push this configuration to the smart appliance. And right now, I'm going to actually just try to log on my Orchestrator. There you go. So now I'm going to log on to the VCO. Admin. So I'm logging on to the administrator where I do all the configuration. Normally, on the first glance, you will see a big map with all the sites, but this is a virtual environment, so we don't have the map displayed. But this is the first slide that I show you all the map and all the sites on the map with enough statistics on it. And here you can see I have a Dallas branch site and I have my data center site. I'm going to go to the Dallas branch site. And this is how you configure the system, or monitor or configure. First, we're going to do monitoring. So on the main screen, on the overview, you can see all the statistics of this site. So you have the top 10 applications running on the site. You have the cloud, the VPN, the cloud and the VPN status. So both circuits are behaving correctly, and it's 30 meg circuits each. And then you have the top categories of traffic that's going through. The QoE screen that I showed you on one of the slides, I have 2 circuits, and I have a score per circuit. So earlier I was running some tests, and I inserted 2% packet loss in here. So that's why you see the circuit score is 9.9.3. It's not 10%, but the ISP circuit is 10 over 10. And the resultant of both circuits, it's always 10. So we were able to remediate this traffic or fix it when I want to provide the quality of the QoE, which is the quality of experience to the user community. On the transport, I can see actually live traffic. I see what's happening on this traffic here. And that's live. So this will show me what's happening today, what kind of traffic is going through, and I can see the statistics from down here per site. Now, what I'm going to do, if I go back to my topology here, I'm going to start my clients. I'll let them, or ask them to start the video streaming. So this is my Dallas client and started its video already. So it connected to the data center video server and playing the video. The same with the legacy client. It's going to start the same video stream. And I'm going to put it right underneath. So we can see both of them in sync. So for the people that are not muted, do you see actually the videos in synchronization? Is it displaying well over WebEx?
Yeah, it looks good.
Okay, perfect. So now, now this MPLS traffic from the Dallas client, it's actually moving over the MPLS here. And this video traffic from the legacy client is also moving through the MPLS. So the question is, why did the Dallas traffic, when they requested the video, go through the MPLS first? Because I created a business policy asking for the video, real-time video, to go over the MPLS first. And if there's a problem with the MPLS, if the SLA is not met, it will change the traffic to the ISP. So let's look at that. Where is it? So here, I go to my main screen on the configuration. You see the video traffic on the MPLS, but let's see why. So I go to configure, and I want to show you the actual Dallas branch and the business policy that I had created for this. Here it is. I called it DMPO video, dynamic multipassing for video. And this one I created myself. I said from any source to any destination, real-time protocol, do multipathing. But I prefer the circuit MPLS first. And this is high priority, and it's a real-time traffic, real-time application. It's very easy to create a new rule, and I'm going to show you how to do it quickly. So when you create a new rule, you give it a name. So let's say this is a CDW test from any source to any destination, but I'm going to go to the application. I want to define a specific application. I click on define, and the applications have been grouped together. For example, business applications, business collaboration. And if I go to business collaboration, you have a group of business applications that could be used as a group. So I can prioritize on the whole thing, or I can choose one specific application. Let's say I'm going to go to Office 365. And now this rule will be applied only on Office 365. If I go down the menu, I can select the priority of the traffic, which is going to be high, multipassing or direct. I can choose one or the other. Multipassing basically means we can use any of the circuits available. And on the WAN link, I will choose either ISP or MPLS. Okay? And at the same time, I can make it preferred or mandatory. So it can move or it may not move. It has to stay on this link. So I have all those options available, and that's how easy it is to configure a new rule, a new business policy rule on the system. And because of this policy that's already active, my traffic, I go back to monitor, my traffic goes over the MPLS circuit. But I want to show you how the active-active scenario works. So I have this application that actually can insert 2% packet loss. And I'm going to do that right away. So I'm going to insert 2% packet loss on the MPLS links. And you can see the traffic will be switching from MPLS to ISP instantly. Now, there is no OSPF configuration that took place. There is no BGP configuration that took place. There is no LECP. It's by default. The system is smart enough by default to make this happen using our DMPO solution. So now you see the traffic moved from MPLS to ISP. And if I go back, look at the quality of the system. Oh, WebEx is kind of freezing me. Here you go. So now you have the two video sessions. Okay, you will see one of them clear and the other one stopping or being pixelated. The legacy one that doesn't have the smart solution in place, you'll have the 2% packet loss that I showed you when the guy was speaking on a video conferencing in the slide. So that's what happens. That's the quality of the video that you're going to get with only 2% packet loss versus a solution that can actually move traffic, steer traffic instantly based on the quality of the circuit and if it's meeting the SLA or not. So now, what if the 2% is gone? So I'm going to activate clean network here, and you will see right away, not actually right away, about 90 seconds behind. So now I don't have any more packet loss on the MPLS circuit, but the system is smart enough to wait a little bit until it confirms that the MPLS circuit is actually clean. It's not doing a yo-yo effect. The packet loss and it's not consistent. So it has to be up 100%, meeting the SLA requirement that's already pre-built within the system. And within 90 seconds, the traffic will move back from being on the ISP to the MPLS. Why? Because I have a policy dictating that. So I don't have to get into manually and change back the traffic from this link back to the other link. So it does that based on my policy. And so the monitoring of the link every 100 milliseconds, we'll wait for 90 seconds to do it. And once the 90 seconds is done, you'll see the traffic moving back to MPLS. So I know that we left the questions to the end of the session, but so please write down your questions if you have any, and we'll answer them at the end of the session. I don't want to leave the screen for now, but until it actually, I want to show you the traffic coming back to MPLS, a few more seconds. But meanwhile, I will talk about QoS. Within the QoS environment, application awareness, we built about 2,000 applications, as you've seen from the business policy. Here you go. Here, the traffic actually moves from ISP to MPLS automatically, okay, after 90 seconds. So I can go back to my, I want to show you maybe on this configuration here on the profiles. We also have a profile. So you can group a number of appliances or a number of sites under one profile. And when you do one change in this profile, you apply it to all the devices within that profile or that region. Could be European profile, could be North American profile. You don't have to log on to one site at a time and change one thing. And when you look at the profile business policy, you have some quality of service settings. You see, we already created this by default because we have categorized the applications into 3 different applications, right? What, real-time applications, transactional applications, and bulk applications. And every category has 3 different priorities, whether it's a high, normal, or low. So the 9 squares here represents the 100% of your bandwidth, aggregated bandwidth of all the links. And I give to my real-time high priority 35% of that bandwidth, normal 15, low will be 1. And if you add all those here, will be 100%. And this is not written in stone. This could be configurable. And that's how we actually we prioritize the traffic on the link by default. And we have already done some policies for you. You don't have to start inventing stuff. We know about the applications. It's already known what kind of applications you're going to be accessing. So we did that ahead of time, unless you have a device-specific or a site-specific application that you want to managed differently, and you can go back to this one device and change its configuration. So when I go to configure edges, you can go to one device within that profile, and this device you can change it up to your satisfaction or up to the situation where this device is living. So you can kind of segregate this. But the minute that you push the profile policy, you override that. So also I would like to mention the administration portion, because since we have multiple regions, maybe you want to have different admin levels. And when you create a new administrator, let's say, you can give it different priorities and the type of roles that you have here. So we have super user, standard admin, customer support, or read only. And depending on the type of engineers or technicians that you have available in the region where you group the devices, you can assign different roles for your administration. Okay. So let me go back to my presentation here. So please write down your questions, as we're going to be answering them at the end of the session. Okay. And here it is on my slide. The 9 squares, or the levels that we've seen on a real-time transaction and bulk type of application, and the high normal end. So we really already covered that part. So what makes up the solution? So I've been talking about the software features, the orchestrator, and which is on top here, the orchestrator, and this is where we configure the whole solution. So what does the orchestrator give me? Centralized management for the whole network, the whole WAN network. No more box by box. Real-time monitoring. And I can have multi-tenancy. So based on the orchestrator, I can build multiple accounts. So it could be used by service providers. It could be used in a campus environment, depending on which faculty, which building. So in education sectors, it could be in hospitals if they have multiple hospitals. It could be in a regular enterprise, multiple regions. The sky is the limit when you the way that you want to group your tenants in there. Business policies and application priorities, absolutely. I showed you that, how to create, how easy it is to create a business policy for your application, and the zero-touch deployment. And maybe let me touch up a little bit on that. Once your profile is built and your device configuration is done, you have the appliance that you ship it to the site. The appliance comes up and connects to the internet, receives an IP address, and connects to your VCO, VeloCloud Orchestrator. And the configuration is already there waiting for it. And you're doing a call home, and it finds its fingerprint or serial number, and it downloads and configures based on that. But there is a security issue here. What if you ship the box and it goes to the wrong address? So the VCO, as you're preparing the configuration and inserting the serial number of the device, will create an email. And this email has a link for activation that will be sent to the GM of that office, to the general manager of that office. And until this GM receives the equipment and clicks on the link in his email, this box will never be activated. So even if it was sent to the wrong person, to the wrong address, they don't have the email to activate the box. So that will never be on your network. And a kind of, so we provide full security for the zero-touch operation. Now, so that's the top one, the orchestrator. The bottom one will be the edge device, the appliance that I actually provide on the network. This is what you deploy at the branch site. So we understand it's a virtual edge. It has, you can configure it the way you want. This is connected through multiple circuits. You can have one MPLS, one internet, or actually two internet, because we can do load sharing. So if you have two internet providers and you can do load sharing between them, even if there are different speeds, you can kind of provide an SLA for it. So if one provider is down, one circuit is down, the other one is up. And you can have more than two. You can have three. Well, the third one could be over LTE, and that's possible with our solution. Or it could be over satellite. That's also possible with the solution. And you can configure that up to your satisfaction. So maybe use the LTE only in certain cases for certain application. You don't have to load share it all the time. In case of one circuit goes down, only LTE will be used. And we can kind of guarantee the delivery of the application to the user community. But what about the one in the middle? The gateway, the Dell SD-WAN gateways. and why there is a SaaS logo beside it. Because Dell already deployed edge devices at every SaaS provider. So on all the cloud providers like AWS, Azure, Google, Dell took it upon themselves to deploy edge devices there, and the edge device in your branch office will create secure tunnel to those gateways that are already existing on the internet, as if it becomes your data center. So see, since you're migrating your data towards the cloud becomes your data center in different meaning. So we put devices there to terminate your tunnels. Why did we do that? So you create an encrypted tunnel, so your Office 365 traffic is secure. You give it priority over the branch traffic, absolutely. So if people are doing web browsing or any type of traffic from their branch office or from home, you can still prioritize the WebEx traffic, the Salesforce traffic, Skype, and the sky is the limit. So this is the idea, is that from the edge device, you connect to the Dell gateway at the cloud provider in a secure manner. So we apply your security policy on this type of traffic. So the network admin is not blind at all from the branch traffic that's going out on the cloud. He can meter that, secure that, monitor that, capture if need be, and we see who's doing what on the internet. And this also applies to home. So now there is a question like, well, if I have a small business and I want to deploy this for my cloud traffic, I'm a small business, so I don't have a data center, I'm just running my traffic to the cloud. Absolutely, we can secure this traffic from one work from home type of device, not only to connect to your data center. If you don't have any, the cloud becomes your data center. And we can secure this traffic, encrypt it, and monitor it as well. And prioritize it, which is key. So if you're working from home and your family is doing a Netflix or music on demand or playing games, your WebEx traffic or Office 365 traffic will take priority over that, because we create tunnels, because we have already put gateways everywhere around the internet. And that's the most important piece, and hence the name VeloCloud. We designed this whole solution with the cloud in mind. And this is another actually display of the same scenario. Here is your orchestrator on the internet. And here are my Dell gateways that connects, on the left-hand side, connects to SaaS providers. They are already present. We have about 1,400 and plus gateways already deployed worldwide to different AWS sites, Azure sites, Google sites. We co-locate with them, and we partner with different people. So we partner with Salesforce, we partner with Microsoft. So all those known applications are already, we have already tunnels and we have connectivity to them. We also have service chaining for security. So if you want to go to, let's say, Palo Alto on the internet or Zscaler, they're all there. But what about the on the right-hand side? If you have a site that's called, on the right-hand, it's called Legacy Data Center, and doesn't have a smart solution yet, maybe it's different part of the world, only if it has meaning of creating an IPsec tunnel to one of our gateways using a checkpoint firewall, a Fortinet firewall, any kind of IPsec device. And this data center legacy that doesn't have any smart solution yet becomes part of your network, becomes part of your cloud, and you can access it. Now with deploying the Dell EMC Edge on the left-hand side at the branch office and also at the data center. And you see at the data center, we can do cluster of devices. So let's say you have 2 or 3 or 4 circuits, 1 gig, 5 gig, 10 gig of the internet or MPLS. We can actually accommodate all those type of circuits there and create a cluster for full high availability and reliability. And this is an example of how many devices we have around the world. So we have about 72 orchestrators. Remember, this is a VMware solution, so everything is virtualized and everything is synchronized. So we have about 72 orchestrators worldwide. It never goes down. We cover about 30 different regions in the world, about 1,400 plus gateways. So reliability is not an issue with us. Now, we talked enough about the software and the software features. How about the appliances? That I keep mentioning appliance, the SD-WAN Edge appliance. How many models do we have? And here you go. We have the Edge 600 series, where we have 4 models, starting with the 610, 620, 640, and 680. And the different models have different power. So the CPU and the memory is different inside every server there, every mini server. And basically we propose it or based on the link bandwidth that you have at that location, the aggregate bandwidth. So you have a 30 meg MPLS and you have a 200 meg broadband, so that's 130 megs total. So you over the 100 megs, so it's good for 200 megs. So the 610 will fit within that environment. But what if you need more? Let's say you have 100 meg and 200 meg, so that's 300 meg. You can go to the Edge 620 when it can accommodate traffic up to 500 megs and so forth. And then we have the big models, the Edge 3400 and 3800, that fits within a data center type of solution, where you terminate all the tunnels from all your sites, and you have more memory and more CPU to handle all this stuff. Now that's on the hardware side. How about the software? We have 3 levels of licensing on the software. We have the regular IPVPN type of solution that replaces your legacy routers that you manage box by box. And it's called the standard edition. And we have up to 50 locations that we can support with that. But what will that give you? This will give you centralized management, easy deployment. The DMPO, the secret sauce for multi-sharing and packet steering and monitoring, will give you all that. Okay. Enterprise, there is no limit on the Enterprise edition. There is no limit on 50 locations. It's unlimited. And on top of that, we give you more features. So you can have the firewall feature. You can have a PCI add-on feature. Okay, so that's available. And premium, you get also access to our Dell gateways on the internet and the cloud. So you can run your cloud traffic secured, monitored, and you have a peace of mind of knowing who's doing what based on your policy that you applied on it. Now, most of our customers will go to the premium edition. Why? Because of the price. The price difference between standard enterprise and premium is not that much. And 90% of our customers today, they do, if not today, they do in the very near future have projects to move their traffic to the cloud, to move their applications to the cloud. So the edge becomes very important. And connecting from the branch office or from working from home office directly to the cloud is becoming important. They don't want the traffic to be backhauled back to the data center, especially if you have people in Europe, you have people in Latin America or Asia or the Middle East. You need them to be able to connect directly to their SaaS providers. Why? You want to guarantee a good performance, good application performance. Please don't forget to put your questions, if any. So what are the benefits? Cost reduction, and I'm going to talk about that. How do we reduce the cost? MPLS versus broadband. Ability to transport mission critical traffic or the multiple active circuit. We demonstrated that. We have 2 circuits and we do load sharing. They're both active. Monitor real time. Yes, we did. We monitor the traffic and we see it moving from ISP to MPLS or MPLS to ISP back and forth based on the policy the business policy routing that you deployed in your system. Real-time visualization and simplify the complexity of a WAN. There was no BGP, there was no SPF configuration, there is no LACP to trunk the ports. It's done automatically. So the key takeaways I just mentioned, we have simplicity and visibility, assured application performance with DMPO, including built-in business policies for over 2,000 applications, and manage on-ramp to the cloud. If you don't have any projects or moving to the cloud today, the solution has it already. We've been tested. It has been deployed to so many customers. So that it's a guarantee that once you start moving your applications to the cloud, will be there for you. The application, it's just you turn on a key and it's done. Now I used this slide to show you kind of the cost reduction that you may have on a network. Most of the people or lots of enterprise, they have MPLS, and MPLS is expensive because it provides some SLA agreement. There's someone to call, and this is an example of a 10 meg circuit over MPLS that will cost about $900 a month. Whether 900 is real or not, some people can get it cheaper, some people can get higher depending on the location, on the country, but that's around an average price. And if you reduce the 10 meg to 5 meg MPLS and add a broadband circuit, which probably you already have with the MPLS 10 meg, but use it as an active solution and save some money on the MPLS, right there you have about 50% reduction in the WAN cost. And just by this reduction, you can actually pay a lot, pay almost the new network that you're deploying with SD-WAN. And if you decide to go full broadband after you get familiar with the whole application, with the whole solution, and you have confidence in it, which lots of our customers did already, moving out of MPLS. So you have 50 and 50 megs. So that's like 10 folds of the MPLS that you had already. That's about 75 reduction on the WAN cost. Yeah, so I think we have maybe 5 minutes left. So we're reaching to the end. And right there. So this is some important questions to ask yourself or to look at your network admin. Can we reduce some price over MPLS and use the broadband? How about the critical application, voice and video? Do we have any problems today? Can we guarantee the delivery of those applications? Reducing branch footprint from firewall, router, WAN optimization tools. Can I reduce it to only one box? Guarantee the performance to the SaaS and so forth. I know that I'm running out of time, so I want to just go to the QA. So guys, if you have any questions, please let me know. I know that earlier we had some questions already, and I had maybe saved them here. Using SD-WAN in a small business environment with a small office on a non-dedicated network, is it possible? Absolutely. You don't have a data center, your cloud is your data center. And by connecting to our Dell gateways that are already present at every SaaS provider, you're going to secure the traffic, you're going to apply priority to it. So the answer is yes. SD-WAN for local branch egress of vital Office 365 traffic. That's the exact same answer right there. Will be done without overall network transformation to, yeah, absolutely. One site, 1 unit, or 10 unit, or 20 unit, or 200 is the same cost. So you buy the hardware and you buy the license for it. Depending on the license, if it's a premium license, you have access to the Dell gateways on the cloud. Dell SD-WAN specs. I can provide you the specs. I have a PDF file. I'm going to send you to the Randy there, and he's going to probably send it to you. So we do have a data sheet for our SD-WAN solution. What's new with EMC for this year? A lot. We don't sleep. We have on the networking side, we have lots of new switches, 10, 25 gig, 100 gig. We have software-defined director for SDN fabric management, the SD-WAN solution that we have, and we do have lots of promotion on SD-WAN. So we just came out today from our management with a bundle for work from home type of solution. So the 610 and the premium license on it, up to 350 megabits per second aggregate speed. Whether it's one circuit or more, we can accommodate that. So Randy, do you have any questions?
I think, no, you covered most of them already. Maybe if anyone has any further questions, they can contact their account manager.
We're 1 minute over, but if everybody's okay, we can continue.
Well, that was very good. Thank you very much.
I hope it was informative. I hope it gave you an idea, but this is just the very first step. We can take it further down. So if you have any interest, let us know, and we'll have a session specifically for you to address your questions, your environment, and the way to deploy this. And we have a POC available as well. So up to your request, if you're interested, we can send you some equipment, get you a POC engineer to work with you, test the whole solution from A to Z.